All right, everyone. With the Speakeasy podcast, and I'm with the one and only Easy.
What up, man?
Hey, not much, buddy. So I it's kind of been eating me. So like, what, what is your real name? Easy or like?
No. So Easy is actually like the first initials of my actual name, of my actual last name. And so I originally was going, like, when I started the podcast, I was actually going by Poppy, and I went on, like, because I'm here in Michigan, Detroit, and obviously we're Detroit Lions fans. I'm gonna be coughing throughout this too. I apologize, I'm a little sick, but the guy hosting it, every time he'd come to me, he'd say, "Hey Poppy, hey Poppy," and at the end of it, he's like, "Hey man, I don't really know how I feel about calling you Poppy like that many times on, like, a publicly broadcasted thing." And then from there, I was like, "Well, fuck, I'll just change it to Easy because that's a little bit more comfortable for for people to say."
Yeah. I guess I could understand that for sure.
Yeah,
And so obviously you're from Detroit. I'm like literally 45 minutes away from you. Like we could have done
yeah,
no problem. Um,
yeah.
I unfortunately coronavirus put a halt to everything. So probably a good thing we're not meeting up at the moment. Don't want to get sick. Uh,
Right now, I don't know, man. I've been feeling like shit lately,
yeah, dude. So like, are you like? Do you think that you got the coronavirus?
man. I have no fucking clue, to be honest with you. I don't want to say that I do because I absolutely, it's certainly possible that I don't, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like anytime I want to get sick right now, it might be coronavirus, but I feel fine. If it is the coronavirus, this ain't shit for me. But
Yeah.
obviously, other people, But it may not be the coronavirus. I could be talking on my ass.
That's okay. Um, so I mean, like, you've had some past guests on the show. I got to see that you got the Motown Phenom on there.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
sweet.
Shout out to Kevin Lee. That was awesome.
Yeah. So how did that all happen, man? Like,
So a lot of my guests, if people like pay attention a little bit, or even if people consistently listen, they're all kind of from Michigan. They're all kind of like successful people from the way, and we got a lot. You know what I'm saying? Or they're either from Michigan or related to the state of Michigan some type of way. It's like Kevin Lee, the Motown phenom. Obviously, he's from Detroit. You know what I'm saying? We had Kendra Lust on. She's from Michigan as well. Uh, the adult film star, porn star for all you nasty mofos. But Tony Stamen, another UFC guy. We had him. Yeah, he's another guy from Michigan. So that's been the bulk of it. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of hitting him up on like that.
I was listening to you. I was trying to do something. My
Be
phone
good.
off for the live videos. So sorry about that, man.
Yeah, you're just rude as fuck, bro. I'm just kidding. I'm joking. Fuck with you. Nah. All my celebrities pretty much from Michigan. I hit them up on that tip. Like, hey, I'm Michigan based, Detroit based. Um,
And you said that that's the way you got Kendra Lust too, right?
Correct. Yeah, it was super dope of her to come on because she doesn't do it that often. She has as of late. Bro, I just found my energy drink. I just fucking peeped up and found that shit. But yeah, she has been doing them as of late. But yeah, I was fucking lucky because at that point too, I only had like fucking 400 like followers. So for her to come on, that was awesome. That was huge.
Yeah. So how did that like who how did the you said like you had like contacts. So like how did that get set up? He just went up and asked her and like how
Yeah, pretty much. I was like, hey, I started this podcast in quarantine. I like to talk sports. I like the UFC. You like the UFC. We're both attracted to each other. Clearly, like that's obvious, right? But yeah, and I just shot my shot. Honestly, like a lot of that stuff for anybody who's like, and I don't know if anybody's listening like live, but anyone who listens even afterward, if you guys want to start podcasts, it's really just simple as just doing it. A lot of shit in life is like, that's another thing I realized talking to these people is like, they're successful, whatever they're doing, but the point, they all started, you know what I'm saying? That was like that's the main thing. Everybody starts, whether you're fucking like already extremely talented like Kevin Lee. Well, he really wasn't though. He didn't, he didn't start wrestling till his high school years, I believe. But
yeah.
he became, top 10 ranked guy in the world, in mixed martial arts. And he was not, he wasn't always Kevin Lee. He just had to start. But that was what this podcast was, man. I just started and I just try. I just shoot my shot with everyone. The people who come on, that's fucking awesome. And we're starting to have a great time now. I'm getting like more warmed up to the mic. but just fucking doing it, honestly. If you want fucking President Donald Trump, all you have to do is ask, you know? It's just if he fucking says yes or no. It is what it is, you know?
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely. And yeah, I don't know, like my whole origin story. I actually started my podcast a long time ago. And if you want to even go back to my roots, um so actually how everything kind of started with me was yeah, so I started a podcast with a friend of mine, Elijah Anderson. Yeah, I'm doing a shout out to you, buddy. Um yeah, hold on. I think you're
Shout out Elijah.
yeah, you're just getting your energy drink. Okay. Yeah, so a buddy of mine, Elijah, we started a podcast together. I think it was called Kelly and Anderson podcast or something. I don't know. It was ridiculous. It was a joke. We were just kind of fucking around and actually it wasn't. It was maybe like 3 years ago. But yeah, so we did this. Yeah, maybe about 3 or 4 years ago. But honestly, in the last 4 years, I feel like obviously I'm 25 now, so I was maybe 21 at the time. So yeah, I definitely felt like I was a lot younger then. But anyway, so we started this podcast together, and it was just kind of a joke. Like we shoot the shit about stuff we liked. Like we talked a lot about The Walking Dead. We did one on Donald Trump. Um, I think that's when he first got into as a president.
Office.
I think it was like his first year in. So
How do like obviously I'm in America and there's election coming up, so like that they always talk Donald Trump nonstop. Is it
it,
the same in Canada at all? Like, do you guys get as much Donald Trump coverage as we do in the U.S.?
oh, it's night and day, dude. Like we get CNN, so it's night and day.
Wow.
Yeah, it's we hear more about Donald Trump than our own prime minister. Um,
Crazy.
yeah, yeah, we do. Yeah, it's crazy. We're very Americanized here.
So
Um,
yeah, it's wild.
hmm And yeah, but anyway, as I was saying, yeah, so like we did that podcast for a little bit. It got to the point where we have a hard time meeting up, and I think for me, I wasn't really taking it seriously, and I didn't wasn't staying committed, and I think I was a little immature for it, and I think I was just a little too young to do it. I think, not to say, I've seen this kid. This kid's, I think he's like 14, 15. He's doing podcasts and he's hosting like these like MMA fighters and all these people. I'm like,
Is it,
Jesus,
is
you
it Justin?
might be. The kid's like 16.
Oh, okay, okay, never mind.
The posters up on his room and stuff. But so at the time, I just thought, I was like, I'm not really taking this seriously. And then I decided to do one myself because I was like, you know what? No disrespect to my friend, but I think it'd be easier if I did one myself, but I could still have him on my podcast from time to time. So I started one. It was called Kel Walker Podcast, and and as I as I started that one, that was more like that was the podcast I have now, and it just kind of got to a point where I was doing people that I knew, people from my local hometown, because I would actually physically have them here doing them, and
How did that go?
it was good. It was good. I mean, there were people that I pretty much knew. And then it got to a point where I was like, I wanted to expand more. And then once the quarantine kind of thing really, once shit hit the fan, January, February ish, I started actually, I was like, yeah, let me actually get some guests on, and it'll be easier because you're doing everything online. It's easier to book people, et cetera, et cetera. And then, yeah, and then after that, I think the first guy I really started to really expand out was Chris Clements from the UFC. He's retired now, or not retired, but he's not in the UFC anymore, and he hasn't fought for a while. Um, but I had him on, and then right from there, I got more different guests on. I had some people locally. I had a lot of local hockey players on, like a junior B team. I had some guys from the Chad Maroons. Like I said, they're a junior B team.
Did you gain a following when you first started with your friend? Like, did you guys have like
No,
let's like yeah,
we didn't really, like I said, we didn't really take it seriously. It was just, yeah, we threw it on, and it was, you
and
know.
then are you guys like on like are you on like actual podcast forums like with Spotify and stuff like that? Like
No, actually, we weren't. Like that's what I mean. Like we
yeah,
just threw them on YouTube and thought they were funny and
yeah,
etc. I'm sure I could probably find them. Uh,
yeah.
if
Are
I,
you doing that stuff now? Like now are you on Spotify and stuff like that?
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm
Yeah.
on Spotify. I'm on YouTube. Yeah, just YouTube and Spotify. I want to keep it simple.
Yeah.
I'm busy as it is. I don't want to, it's a pain in the ass to do the YouTube video and then take all the links, put it into Simplecast, get it onto Spotify. It's yeah, like that part. It's kind of like that gets kind of bit too much sometimes. It's a lot of work to just do one video.
Bro, it is, bro. It's a grind for sure, man. Like,
But yeah, and so yeah, so then uh, when I like just this year, I actually changed my name around and I started calling myself or not just this year, but like maybe not maybe last year I changed my name to Empire Universe and I had a different logo, and then I after that I think I yeah sorry Yeah, sorry. Last year, I changed my name to Empire Universe. I made some T-shirts. It was a very simple thing. Actually, I got the design. I made it off of like a Instagram like story like text. It was just said Empire Universe with the dot on the end, and I was like, like it's like that's kind of stupid. So actually,
some shit is though, you know.
I'm making a logo, and then that's what you see with the Empire Universe logo thing on there. And then that's where that was my birth of my podcast. And then, I was throwing stuff on YouTube, and then I got to Spotify. I started the Instagram account, and right from there, I just grew and I grew and grew and grew. And yeah, here we are now. So,
Yeah.
and now, sorry, go ahead.
So like what site do you use to host your podcast? Is it like Simplecast or like Anchor?
Simplecast, yeah.
That's what I use too. Do you ever like use the metrics, like look at like your listeners and stuff like that?
Yeah, I do. Like I said, I just do this because I love to do it.
Yeah.
I like interviewing guests, and I mean some I've been a huge fan of. So it's kind of a dream come true for me to just chit chat with them. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just do it because I love it. I don't really care. I mean, I do like I want to get more subscribers on YouTube. That's my main focus right now. I'm having a difficult time with.
Yeah. It's the video.
Yeah.
Gotta do video. Yeah. It's a pain in the ass, but like, because that's how I started watching podcasts was YouTube. Even when I say podcast, I don't say listen, I say watch because, YouTube, Joe Rogan, and then
Absolutely.
Joe Rogan, obviously like Shah broke off, and he's got his stuff going, and then I listen to a lot of Andrew Schultz too.
Yeah, good. Or the church with Joey Diaz.
So I haven't. So that's the one thing, bro. I actually literally the other day I watched like the funniest Joey Diaz moments, and I swear to God, bro, I did not laugh once. I just don't think he's that funny. I don't know why, bro.
He's fucking hilarious,
bro. Yeah, I just don't think he's like funny at all. I don't know why. It's just not my humor. Like what I think what it is. A lot of his shit's like him telling stories, of like on his past.
Yeah, some of it's not funny. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
His mannerisms and what he does and what he says is funny.
Yeah.
Some of the stories aren't as funny, but
yeah.
But his mannerisms, like I said, and his reaction to stuff and how he gets all fired up about simple stuff, it's hilarious.
To me, it's like I think what it is too is like when he tells those stories and stuff like that, I like don't believe him. I don't know. Maybe that's why I don't think it's funny. I mean, I don't fucking know. I literally watched the whole clip of like his funniest moments to try like see like what how he is, and I just did not. I don't know. I'm not hating on him. I'm saying good for him. And I love fucking Joe Rogan, right? Like that's my favorite podcast. One of them for sure. I don't think Joe Rogan's funny like stand up wise either. I never like.
I didn't. Yeah, no, I don't find Joe Rogan like funny as a comedian. I mean, he has funny moments. I laughed when he said stuff, but like I don't really find him. I couldn't sit and watch him for like an hour and probably laugh the whole time. But I'm sure he'd probably make me laugh. But I'm not. He's not. When I think of a comedian, he's not the first guy that comes to my mind. But I do enjoy listening to him. He's really smart. He's intelligent. A lot to offer.
So. Yeah, and stuff like that too is so subjective because obviously he's successful as a comedian, right? But like, I mean, I don't know. Do you think Joe Rogan's more known for like UFC and podcasting than he is a comedian?
I think so too. Yeah.
And so it's funny too because like you'll hear him on his podcast like giving advice to people on how to be like successful comedians. Like, bro, you didn't like really. I love Joe Rogan. I love Joe Rogan. I swear, that's my guy. But like, it's like, bro, you didn't really make it. Like, you're not really like a comedian. I don't know. I'm
No, and we're all entitled to our opinions. Can you imagine Joe Rogan watching the podcast? He's like, "Bitch,
That would fucking
I'm."
suck. Yeah. No, I mean, he's got to understand though. I feel like Joe's like a open-minded guy. He understands like some people just
Oh,
disagree.
100%.
Because like that comedy's for sure one of those things that's so subjective. Just like music and like food. Like I never really get how there's like professional chefs or like I mean even some successful podcasters. You're like, come on, bro, I could do that. And that's kind of why we're doing it, right? We're like, hey, I can do what that guy does.
Yeah. Kind of going back to some of your past guests. Obviously, you've had Kevin Lee, the one I watched. I watched a little bit of the Kendra Lust one. How was that one, man? I bet that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, man, that was the first one I gotta get better at I guess like preparing because I literally just kind of like just go. That was one of the ones I actually kind of prepared. Like I thought of some questions beforehand.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like it went well. That was also before I was like comfortable on the microphone as well. So like nowadays on like later episodes, you'll see me like joke around more with guys. Like if you ever listen to Kevin Lee one, we kind of poke fun at like Tyron Woodley, and just off the cuffs kind of stuff. But with her, it's kind of well, no, I don't know, bro. It was fucking crazy because like it happened, but I wasn't nervous at all. That's what like tripped me out about it. I was not nervous to do that. Honestly, the one I was most nervous for was Dean Thomas. Uh,
Really?
yeah,
I bet. Yeah, Dean Thomas, man.
yeah, and I don't even know why I was nervous. I was more nervous for that one. I don't know.
I find that there's some guests that kind of give off that vibe, like they make you nervous in a sense. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know, it's weird. Like, I still get nervous with some certain guests. Like, I'll tell you right now, I got really nervous with oh, what's his name? Uh, that Brazilian light heavyweight fighter. He had that huge hype behind him.
Oh, Johnny Walker.
Walker. I
Yeah,
had
you had Johnny Walker on. Yeah, that's insane.
thanks, man. I was pretty surprised I got him. Yeah,
Yeah,
Johnny Walker, I was fucking so nervous. The first like
yeah,
5-10 minutes, you could just see me running through the questions like a freight train. Like I was so fucking nervous. And then,
yeah,
well, it got. I was like, all right, I'm good. I'm good. Um, and then I don't know, like, but then there's other guys. Like I just had Zach Cummings on yesterday.
yeah. It's dope, man.
Recently fought at the UFC Apex Center like last week or 2 weeks ago.
Almost had a knockout.
Yeah, and he almost had a knockout. And I was not nervous at all. It just flowed so well. Um,
Yeah, it's weird.
so I think because he was there to really like engage and chat. Well, you get some guys that are really really busy or get
Yeah,
some
I feel bad.
might be a little camera shy or whatever, right? Like, can you imagine getting one of the Diaz brothers on there? They'd just be like answering a question, be like you know
Yeah,
how they're very camera
yeah,
shy, and
yeah.
you
They don't.
literally be like, dude, do I have to like smoke a joint with you to like get down to your own
But
level?
you have to.
Come on.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, man. It's weird. I wasn't that nervous. Yeah, you listened to the Kendra one then, or some of it. What did you think of it? How far into it did you get?
You know what? I just kind of skimmed through the video because I was really busy. I was doing.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I gotta listen to some of it. Um, I'm trying to think of the part that I think she was talking about her OnlyFans while she was doing it.
Yeah.
Because she hadn't been working for over a year, which kind of surprised me on that. I'm like, you look at her, she's a big star. What the hell you mean?
Well, no. What she was saying is she's making more money on OnlyFans to the point where motherfuckers can't pay her enough to work. You know what I'm saying? So she's making so much money on OnlyFans when like I think it was Bang Bros she says in the video or Brazzers
I
like
think
offered her a contract. Yeah, and she was like, okay, well like this is what I make sitting on my ass at home, like off of OnlyFans. Like if you want me to fly out to California to shoot a video, you're gonna have to at least hit these numbers,
yeah.
which I thought was interesting. It's super super dope for her and fucking bro. If I was a girl, I'd have OnlyFans all day. I'm still thinking about making not a dirty one, but like one for the podcast, even like when I have like Kendra Lust or the more raunchier episodes. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, and I think with her, I mean, she wouldn't even have to take off her clothes. She could
Yeah,
just literally just, she could be wearing lingerie in every picture and she'd be making lots of money. And why wouldn't she? I mean, she doesn't look like she's been doing porn for like 8 years, but 7 or 8 years. But I mean, like, so she's no stranger to, be doing acts on video. And
There's some chick that my boy was telling me about. I think her name's like Bella Delphine or something or some. She's an actress and she made OnlyFans and she like charged $250 or some shit to see like this picture of her and she was clothed but she told like people she was naked and she wasn't and she like crashed OnlyFans because like so many people bought it and they all wanted their money back. She wasn't naked.
that's catfishing 101 right there.
Oh, 1,000%, bro. 1,000%. One other OnlyFans story, and it's just because we're on the topic of it. I did a video on this too. If you guys check out my YouTube page, but there was do you watch basketball, NBA basketball?
Once in a while when I'm at work, yeah.
Okay, so there was this girl, and she like slept with like a whole like half of a team, and she came on to like a podcast. She was like, "Yeah, bro." She was like talking about it, and it blew up, and she made $100,000 in 2 days on OnlyFans.
Oh my god,
it's insane, man.
That's
insane.
just the craziness of how much money you can make off the internet is just unreal these days. We're living in a different world, brother.
It is.
And
There's been like some of the motivation behind doing this stuff too. Is like, man, I would love to create content and get paid, like for that to be my job.
who wouldn't, right? I mean,
Yeah, because I even my stepkids, they watch this girl on YouTube. Her name's like Sniper Wolf or something like that. But literally all she does, she sits in front of like a camera and she does like reaction videos. And like the editing is like choppy and like I don't give a fuck about that. I'm not picky about that at all. But like it made me realize like you could just fucking do whatever. Her house is huge, bro. Like when we're done with this, I'm gonna send you a link to the YouTube video. She's giving like a tour of her house.
mm-hmm.
You're about to like puke in your mouth. Like what? Like what in the actual fuck?
I know it's crazy. And I mean, you look at even like big time actors, like you look at Kevin James right now. I don't think he's really doing any movies,
Mm-hmm.
and he's doing all these videos of he's doing like he's like a sound guy and all these like famous scenes from movies. I personally don't find them funny. I think they're kind of stupid, but I love the passion that he puts into them, and it looks like he actually enjoys doing it. And
What's he doing?
His character is like a sound guy. So what happens is like, for example, they edit it so they put him in a scene from the movie what was it? I Am Legend. And Smith is coming up with a gun, and he's freaking out. Like the scene's original, but instead of having like I think
having him step in with some kind of technology or some shit.
Yeah, so they edit out the and
I gotta watch that. It sounds funny.
Yeah, I don't find Kevin James funny. Okay.
Yeah. It's just so subjective, you know.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, kind of going back to Kendra Lust. Yeah, like I think that'd be really interesting to do podcasts with her. I don't know if I would, just because I'm more doing MMA and all the stuff that's a little out of my just a little out of my like reach.
She's a big MMA fan. That was the original plan, was for us to like make some picks for the card that Amanda Nunes was on. I think it was 240, it was 250 maybe, but we had to reschedule like a day later. So like the fights had already happened. So like that's why we didn't talk too much MMA. But yeah, she's a big MMA fan.
Yeah, she's really supportive of the fighters and stuff. I know she's doing the I think she does that Something the Beast podcast.
Beauty and the Beast podcast, yeah, with Nate Marquardt, something shit like that.
Not Nate, but yeah, he's some MMA fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find his name now. I feel bad. I'm listening though.
But yeah, like so I think with her, and honestly, listening through the podcast, she seems like an average everyday mom. Or does she even have kids?
Yeah, I believe so. I don't know. I didn't ask her that stuff. That was like the one request. She didn't really want to talk like too much personal stuff, which is cool. Like, I didn't want to anyway. You know.
Well, yeah, and I think like I can understand that. I mean,
yeah,
given her job title, I can understand that she's trying.
Oh, yeah, dude, Julian Marquez, that's his name.
Julian Marquardt. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Marquardt. Yeah, no, yeah, because dude, I'll tell you what too. Like when I posted that of her, because you forget like how like creepy like men could be. You know what I'm saying? Because we are guys, and just because we're not one of the creepy ones, I mean, we actually even fucking. I have friends that I've been like, bro, like, you gotta chill out, saying all like this like. This is just creepy ass shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool, but it's one thing to keep saying it over and over again. You know what I'm saying? I get it if you're trying to be funny, but like you're like actually like a weirdo. And like, but they have to deal with that because they're like world famous. You know what I'm saying? It's like they have the creeps around the world.
Oh yeah,
Fucking,
100%.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, even when I posted that, these motherfuckers are messaging me like, tell her I love her. I'm like, bro, what in the fuck? Like, I couldn't, bro, I could not imagine like having to go through that. It's fucking like
Yeah.
scary too because it's psychos as well.
Yeah, like I mean, no one asked her to do the job that she wanted to do, but at the end of the day, though, you have to show level of respect too. I mean, she's not doing it like it's not like she, you know, at the end of the day, like it's her to make money. That's it. Like it's
Yeah,
obviously has a husband who's a cop and everything, so like it's not like she's, you know, it like of course like I'm sure she appreciates like fans and stuff, no doubt, like anybody else, but yeah, the last thing she needs is guys being like, "Hey, let me hit you up." Like, come on,
yeah,
have those
yeah, yeah,
guys. It's
1,000%.
crazy. Um, so when did you start your podcast?
I started in, we're in September now. Fuck, my shit's getting old. I can't say we're new anymore. September, August, July, June or May. I think
Of,
it was, yeah. What'd you say?
of this year?
Yeah, in
Wow.
quarantine. Yeah, started in quarantine. Um, Obviously bored at home, you know. I was listening to Andrew Schultz podcast, and he said, you know, use this extra time to you know, get in touch with the creative side and do all those things you have aspirations for, but always make the excuse of not having the time to do. And you know, podcasting was one for me. But it's even more than podcasting because like I love sports, right? And my goal when I was younger, and I wish I would have just had the same mindset as I do now, but was to be like a broadcaster or something like that, you know. And things happen in life, and you know, I mean, it still may be a possibility down the road, but I had to create the opportunity for myself, but with the you know with the podcast and making sure, or you know, I guess trying to make my opinion relevant in some way to, you know, on some platform. And even if I'm not, I enjoy it. Like I said, talking to Kevin Lee, it's fucking awesome. Like, and I
Yeah.
have a son too. So like when I die, it's sad as fuck to think about, but when you die, fucking like, do you know your great great grandpa or even your great grandfather?
No.
You know what I'm saying? It's like crazy. Like you're gonna die one day, and like your lineage that you started isn't even gonna like know who you are. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like you're on this planet, and like you're just fucking like your life is kind of like you're just here until you die. You know what I'm saying? But like if we do awesome shit, like if you make a badass song like Michael Jackson or like a badass movie, you know, that's like Scarface or something like that, then you're iconic. Then you're like memorable. Like you're a legend almost. Like I wanted to create that because even if I'm not successful in this, when I die, my kids gonna be able to say, "Hey, your great grandfather used to interview like MMA fighters and stuff like that, and he started off from his basement, and you know he talked to Kevin Lee and hopefully more people too. You know, Kendra Lust, Cody Stamen. Like I don't know, I just want to have something that like I could be remembered for. You know, by my kids, they'd be proud of.
Damn, man, you got Cody Stamen too. Fuck.
Yeah, I've had a lot of people, man. I'm 17 episodes deep. Cody Stamen, Eric Anders, Kevin Lee, obviously.
How did you get Cody Stamen?
He's from Michigan too. He's from Sparta, Michigan.
That's what you meant by those guys.
Yeah,
The
yeah. So a lot of the guys I hit up, they're from here, and they're kind of just doing it off the love.
Yeah, it's interesting. I remember the reason why I knew that, or I knew that Cody Stamen was from Michigan. I don't know why I asked you that, but like,
You're good, yeah.
yeah, I remember that now because he was training TJ, the guy from Windsor who just won Dana White's Contender Series. He was training with Cody Stamen actually. Like, I think they're in the same.
Vegas.
I'm sorry.
He's trained down in Vegas.
Yeah, they trained in Vegas.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think they're almost the same. I think they're in the same weight class, believe it or not. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And yeah, like yeah, it was really cool to kind of see that. And I think TJ Laramie, it'll be nice to have a local guy in the UFC. He looks very promising. Hopefully we'll, you know, he's got an upcoming fight soon. So I think with Dennis Minner, I think that his name is. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, that's really cool, man, that you've had that. I know, like, I think Johnny Walker was one of my biggest guests. It was really, really cool when that happened. But then I also got Volkan Ozdemir, and I was like, no freaking way. So that was really, really,
What?
yeah. it
I
was
got to hook me up with that one.
yeah, it was really cool. I can't really hook you up, and you got to do it yourself.
No, yeah, just give me the sauce. I'll go through the
Yeah, you have to contact his management through that one. But yeah. So that was really cool.
It's awesome.
I just did Zach Cummings.
How did that go? The Volcon one, did it go well or?
It went well. He was currently when I was doing the podcast with him, doing I can't remember where he was at, but I think he was doing some kind of therapy. I think so. At the beginning, even before we started the podcast, he's like, "Hey, hold on for a second." I'm like, "I get to put a show down." Like,
That happens, yeah.
yeah, you're on camera, so I mean, not a big deal, but I don't
Yeah.
like. I get it. I get it for him.
The one I had with Kevin Lee, he was at the PI. He was in the pool or in the jacuzzi or whatever. The treadmill, the water treadmill.
Oh yeah.
Can you still hear me? Yeah, I'm just chilling, bro. We're just kicking it.
So he was just like he was literally training while talking to you.
Yeah, well, he was done training, you know what I'm saying, but he was like still like he was. Can you hear me? Well,
Yeah.
all right. He was just like he was shirtless and obviously like in the water, so like it kept making like little water noises here and there. It was pretty funny, but it wasn't that bad.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, like as much as like everyone gives Kevin Lee that bad rap of like, he's got attitude and all that. Like, but when you actually listen to the guy talk and when he's doing interviews and he's chatting with people, totally different guy.
Yeah, it's
Like he seems like a really humble, cool guy to actually just sit
yeah.
and chat with. Um,
Yeah.
but like, yeah, like I get why a lot of people, aren't the biggest fan of him. I get that, but like honestly, I like the guy. I mean, I like him for the person that he is. And I'd love to have him on my podcast.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
think,
you got like stuff like that too. You got to remember with these guys, there's a value in like their viewership. Like they could literally renegotiate the contract with it. So whether you like them good or bad, like it's some of it's on purpose a little bit too. To I mean, you gotta get paid.
well, exactly. And I think that whole thing with Kevin Lee, I mean, I think part of it, he was getting a lot of hype too. And I think sometimes, yeah, you might get a little overconfident, but no, Kevin Lee, I think you could tell that was all on that. That the whole thing that he did with Michael Chiesa a couple of years ago, that was all, you know, just trying to get under his skin. And you know what, when you get a little bit of shine, you might as well take advantage and show
Yeah.
kind of character your whole uh your whole like stage presence. Like you're in the spotlight. Why not try to do something to hype up the fight? Get people to really want to watch, right? uh,
Yeah.
yeah, like even with TJ Dillashaw and Cody Garbrandt, the second fight, or the first and second fight, I think, I'm not sure if it was the first or second fight, they were doing the press conference and you watch them after and they shook hands. It's like, okay, so
Oh, that was the second one.
yeah, and they're
Yeah.
hands after. And it's like, yeah. So that was all bullshit.
Yeah.
Like that's what it was. I mean, the first one could have been more authentic, but the second one,
The first one was for sure authentic. The second one, I don't. The second one, obviously, I think they were in. I think Cody gained obviously had to gain a little respect of it. He did get knocked out,
yeah,
Which
absolutely.
I remember as a Cody fan, dude, I was so upset too because like he fucking had him in that first round. He just narrowly escapes that first round, and then you get KO'd in the second. It's crazy. Yeah. What do
Yeah,
you think about Cody versus Figueroa coming up?
yeah. I think Figueiredo's gonna beat him. I'm not trying to hate on Cody here, okay?
Yeah.
But I really do. I think Figueiredo's gonna get him. I think a lot of people are expecting, Cody Garbrandt's gonna win because he's got the bigger name, blah 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 blah. I'm like, no, but look at Figueiredo. I mean, he's freaking quick. I mean, Cody Garbrandt looked good, but at the same time, I think part of that, like, you gotta. He looked good, but I mean, he's fighting. He fought. Uh, yeah, what's his name? Asan.
Munoz. I think Munoz knocked him out, didn't he? Or
Asan
Sansa.
Sao.
Yeah.
I mean, no disrespect. When you get older, I mean, shit happens, and the guy's been fighting for a long time, and it was just
Sansa.
Asan Sao, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. No disrespect to Sansao. I like the guy. But when you get older, your fighting can change.
Yeah,
And so I'm not taking that away from Cody. I mean,
for
I
sure.
I want to see him do that a couple more times just to make sure it wasn't just a lucky punch or it was just a highlight reel. I mean, he was dominating the fight right from the beginning. But that being said, I just want to make sure that wasn't just one fight. He looked great, and then I don't know what's your thoughts about them setting the.
I think that's like the beautiful thing about fighting is like you truly never know what's going to happen because you can have a guy who's like has a skill set greater than yours. I mean, no one's going to admit that someone's skill set's greater than theirs, but you can have a guy who is better than the other one, but in a fight, anything can happen. You can get knocked out. I mean, look at Sean O'Malley, hurt his fucking like foot. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a fight,
Was
and like that's the beauty of it. Anything can fucking happen. And Cody was good, bro. Like you gotta remember like what he did to Dominic Cruz. He literally was fucking dancing on him.
Oh
You
my
know?
god, I never laughed my ass off so much in that fight.
Yeah, and Dominic Cruz is a legend. You know what I'm saying? He's one of the greats. Uriah Faber couldn't like get back over him. And then so Dominic Cruz is no hoe, and he was literally just dancing on him. And then TJ Dillashaw is obviously really good. I think before the Henry Cejudo stuff, he was looking like one of the probably best all time at that division. Or I guess he just looked really good. He was looking, but obviously we found out he's on steroids. But he looked good against he looked good against him, and you get caught, and sometimes it happens. You can be better. You can be winning a fight and get caught. Like Overeem against Rosenstruck. He was winning that fight the entire time. Then Rosenstruck fucking split his face open.
I still think they shouldn't have stopped that fight right at the buzzer. I'm like, come on.
Yeah,
Come on. Like, okay, I get it. I know.
Rosenstruck one.
Yeah, but like the buzzer was gonna go off anyway. Big freaking whoop. And he won that fight. Totally won that fight, no question.
Overeem.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Sometimes you guys, I get it. Like the Nate Diaz stoppage too with Jorge.
Yeah, that
It
sucks.
was like I don't want to stop. And then after you've seen his eye, it's like, well, that does look pretty fucking bad. Like I don't know.
Diaz would have kept going, no question.
Huh?
He
What'd you say?
looked at him and he was ready to roll. Like that guy is one tough guy.
He is a tough guy, but he was getting his ass kicked.
Oh, he was, no question. Like questioning how that fight with Masvidal was going to go. I was like, I don't know. But Masvidal whooped his ass for three
Bro,
rounds. No,
yeah, like a fucking like schoolyard beatdown. He even like picked him up and slammed him. I was like, God damn, bro.
yeah. So I'm excited for the rematch because it looks like it's likely to happen. Um,
Yeah. To me, as a fight, I mean, I'm gonna watch it, obviously, but I'm not as excited for the matchup as I would before. If we were to see Leon Edwards versus Masvidal, you know,
yeah, that would be a good one too because what that whole history between those two. Uh,
yeah, bro, and it's a challenging fight. And Jorge just fought for a title. If he wants to fight for a title again, fight a contender, bro. Like,
yeah, you shouldn't really be fighting Nate Diaz, but
yeah, man, it's the UFC. It's a money grab by the UFC and Jorge and Nate. So I
oh,
hate the
100%. 100%. Yeah, so I kind of just wanted your thoughts. Okay, so we talked about Alistair Overeem. We have that big card coming up. I think UFC 254, Khabib and
Gaethje.
H.E. That's gonna be a wild fight. I would like to talk about it, but I think like it's so complicated with those two guys. I'd rather actually go down to Tony and Poirier. Honestly, dude, I can't really see how that fight's going to go because
Yeah.
it has insane boxing. He would need
Mm-hmm.
to slow down a little bit because he does tend to kind of gas out a little bit. But man, that guy can fight like right to the end. He doesn't give up.
He's a fucking scrapper.
Oh yeah, and he showed it with Hooker. I don't know. And then you got to see how Tony's going to look. I mean, Tony's going to want to come back and want to get that title. So I think Tony's going to come
Yeah.
back and destroy. But yeah, that's going to be a great fight. And there's a lot of good fights on there. I can't remember the rest of that card. But yeah, that's going to be one great card.
One thing is, I don't think they even confirmed that fight for that card yet.
What's that?
The UFC hasn't like officially come out and said that fight was going to be on that card, or even that fight was going to be. Dana only said probably, So
Oh,
I'm not allowing myself to get like hype over it yet. I want it to fucking happen.
oh wait, Ferguson and Poirier?
Yeah, they never made it. It's never been announced officially.
Oh shit! Okay, never mind that.
Yeah, literally what happened is
shaking
I
there,
mean,
getting so excited.
yeah, I mean, it might happen. You know what I'm saying? It's like I mean, it's looking like it, right?
Yeah,
But what happened was a reporter asked Dana, and then he said probably and did a little laugh, and then the fucking media and the fans have been running with it. I think Poirier has been posting like some stuff too to hype it up a little bit, pick fun at it, but it's never been officially announced yet, not at all, and not even for that card. But I am excited if it is.
hmm and then you got to look at like the next pay per view, Izzy and Ricky Martin. Like, come on. No, but seriously, Israel Adesanya and Paulo Costa. Um, man, I don't know. I don't know. What's your thoughts?
It's for sure. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? You got one guy who just fucking pushes the pace nonstop.
Yeah,
And then obviously you want to say Izzy is like the more skilled guy, but well, I mean maybe not, but we also seen him get battle tested by Gaslam. Like Gaslam dropped him in a fight, and maybe we're underrating Gaslam's stand up, but I guess he has knocked out a few guys, but I don't know. If Gaslam dropped him, what makes you think Costa can't, especially his with his pace. And we've seen Izzy get hit, so we've seen Izzy get touched up by Gaslam. We've seen him get touched up by even Rob was getting him a little bit too. Not knocking him out or anything, but like landing punches. And Costa has the power to land a knockout punch.
but Costa also realizes that this is also a 5 round fight, so I can't see him just going in and just start swinging for the fence. But I think Izzy is gonna try to lure him in to do that, and that's where you're gonna
Yeah.
like. I think a lot of people,
Here's the thing with Costa. Have we seen him not do that? You know?
yeah, and that's the thing. Costa, I think the problem is Costa's gonna go in having that mindset, like I'm just gonna take this guy's head off. I know I can do it,
Mhm.
and
And that's exactly how he's talking, how he's thinking. That's why.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
keep going. I'm
think with
sorry.
Israel Adesanya, what he needs to do, he has to have a game plan of how am I going to not allow him to wail on me like how he does with other people, whether or not he's actually going to show us something that he's never really done, if he's going to try to do a takedown while he does that. You got to wonder how Israel Adesanya is going to how he's going to approach that fight. I have 3 scenarios. The first one is the obvious one that a lot of people could see is Costas is going to come in and just obliterate him, just beat the snot out of him and knock him out first round. Second, second one I see is uh is Israel. He's going to weather the storm in the first round, and he's just gonna let the guy miss him and entire like miss a whole bunch of punches, and he's just gonna start doing what he does. Or
Yeah.
3, I think it's gonna be one of those rounds where we're gonna be really surprised how the fight's gonna go. Like it's gonna be like one of those Israel is gonna do really good at the beginning, and it's like, whoa, what the hell is going on? And then he's gonna get caught somewhere in the fight, and then it's gonna be done. So I'm putting more actually on Costa because just the way he hits,
His
but
style. Yeah.
exactly, and he doesn't give a fuck. He's just gonna come forward like him and Romero, man. Like I was like, you better watch out. Romero can knock you out,
That
and
was a good. He just didn't give a fuck. He does not give a fuck.
does not give a shit.
Yeah.
So,
You know what's also scary to think about too is like, because there's no way he's gonna be running, fighting up, backing up the entire fight. Is Costa also is a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and I get like, we've never seen it, but like that's there. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a threat as well too. If it gets to that point, it's.
that is true. Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be an exciting fight, bro. But yeah, because he's the black belt in jiu-jitsu, and his coach is also Captain America, the guy who coaches Henry Cejudo and all them. So
Oh,
he doesn't.
I
Yeah,
didn't.
he has a great coach. His coach is like underrated as hell.
Yeah. Yeah, they were training together, I think. So I don't know.
Yeah, man. I'm definitely I can't pick honestly. I can't because I don't want to sound like a dumbass because it can honestly go either way. Habib Gaethje I pick because Habib's so dominant. And we haven't actually seen Gaethje wrestle. But Costa and Israel is just so like 50-50 to me.
hmm
It's gonna be fun. I cannot wait.
Yeah.
At the same time, Izzy has that reach where you can pick them apart as well.
That's the thing. It's like Costa can swing all he wants, but Israel's got the reach and he's got that
Mhm.
long reach, and he knows he. That's I think that's why Israel wants this fight so bad, because it's the kind of fight that he wants, that he knows that he can. He wants a guy that's going to come out and just come and just start swinging, because he knows
Yeah,
how to deal with that, and I
yeah,
think that's the strength that Israel has. I think that's why he had a problem with Romero was, well, one, for the experience, but two,
Mm-hmm.
Romero is more like,
Counter striker as well.
yeah, and he also is one to
Tries to be explosive, like sneaky moments.
exactly where Costa just comes in and he's like that,
Yeah,
and just starts
yeah.
smacking it. I'm not saying he can't touch Izzy, but I'm a little worried how that's gonna look.
Well, so the thing too is like, okay, so like you're hitting him up before he gets there, but like we've seen against Romero, he'll eat a shot to get his, like, so what do you do when he finally gets you? Because he's pressing the pace, what I'm saying? He's in your face too. So like if I don't know, it's because they're gonna clash. I'm saying like he literally just fucking doesn't stop. He's I don't know. My bad. Fucking I'm tripping out thinking about this fight. I'm excited.
I know, getting goosebumps. I don't know. It'll be interesting. Someone's gonna be disappointed. Let's just put
Oh yeah, all day.
they're
All
both
day.
undefeated, and someone's gonna be disappointed
Yeah.
without. But what can you do, right?
Yeah. Speaking of pushing the pace, what do you think of Tyron Woodley and Colby Covington?
Man, oh, I think a lot of people want to see Covington get knocked out cold by uh, by uh, um,
Tyron,
by Tyron. Sorry, I
you
got
good?
freaking names in my head.
You good,
By
bro.
Tyron Woodley. But I think also like a lot of people don't like Tyron Woodley. Like
Yeah.
just speaking like visually, right? Like I don't want because I'm a podcaster here, so I don't want to like come out unprofessional. But I think visualizing like the fan base, a lot of people don't like Tyron Woodley, which I don't really understand. Other than, yeah, he doesn't say the most popular things, and he's very a little whiny, I guess,
Mhm.
from what I pick up. But other than that, he's a square Joe, the guy. I mean,
Yeah.
um, but then there's a lot of people that hate Covington because he's so like the character that he puts on. But then you talk to him in real life, and he's totally different guy. Um, I want to see Covington win because I think I don't like with I think with Tyron Woodley, like either he needs to find what his fire again. And I mean, you got to remember too, the guy's 38 years old, so
Yeah. I think people forget that a lot. He's only 1 year younger than GSP. And
yeah,
GSP retired.
yeah. So I mean, with Tyron Woodley, I mean, he's getting old, and that can be part of it too. But yeah, Tyron Woodley, I mean, he can wrestle too, and Colby can wrestle. So that's an interesting fight. I think it's going to stay on the feet. But the way Colby's either going to have to take some of those big shots to get in, which is kind of scary, or he's just going to walk him down like kind of what he did with Lawler. And I think with like it's been proven twice in a fight. Um, Once with with Burns and uh,
Tomorrow.
and Usman. They both did the same thing to Tyron Woodley. They both just walked him down, tired him out.
Well, Usman really wasn't standing up a lot though. Usman was kind of just taking him down, and
True,
you
but
know,
the same approach. They really pressured him. You know what I mean? Like the same
yeah,
idea. So I don't know. I mean, that's gonna be a really
yeah.
interesting fight. I'm glad I'm off that weekend because I will definitely watch it for sure. That'll be
Oh yeah,
um yeah, that's gonna be a great fight.
yeah, yeah. It's very interesting because like I think now what I'm saying. I mean, I'm sure in Vegas too, the odds are probably favoring Colby
Oh yeah.
because performances as of late. Tyron's too. Like Tyron's not been. Uh, he's not the champion Tyron that we saw in the past. Um, but, but the thing too, so and this is another thing is, so Colby is talented. I'm saying he's for sure talented. But here's the thing, and he is good. Like again, I'm not trying to like bash the guy, but I'm gonna look at like just what we've seen. So yeah, he beat RDA. I was not expecting that. That was fucking crazy. And it was pretty fairly close. But so Robbie Lawler, he dominated, right? And we're like, holy shit, he just dominated Robbie Lawler.
Mm-hmm.
But then we just saw again, Neil Magny did the same thing. Are we putting Neil Magny up there at the top, the cream of the crop? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, is it because maybe he looked good against Lawler, but Lawler's also not the same guy. And then okay, yeah, he went 4 rounds with Usman. Usman's not a stand-up fighter. That's the only time I've ever seen him do that. And I think it's because he wanted to knock the guy out. You know? Like Colby can push the pace as a two, and he's skilled as fuck. His cardio is dope. His cardio is badass, and he'll swing them. But he also doesn't. His punches don't really like seem to affect guys really. And I think that's why Kamaru was also like not scared to stand up with him and banging out the entire fight.
Well, I mean, you heard the punches landed on Usman, but
Mm-hmm.
it didn't really seem to phase him. Like, yeah, I mean, it
Yeah.
probably hurt. I mean, who doesn't want to get punched in the face? But they weren't knockout power punches.
Yeah. I
Um,
think maybe he has to do that to keep that cardio too. Maybe it was like,
could be it too, and that's why his cardio is so damn good. But that being said, I mean, he was smacking him pretty hard. So I mean, maybe just Colby has really damn good cardio.
he does all day. So it's like, yeah, it's just I don't know. So I'm excited to see if Colby's gonna. But Tyron's not the same guy either. I don't know, bro. It's fucking that's toss up too. But
Not the same guy.
yeah,
Robbie Lawler is not the same guy. There's a lot of fighters right now that aren't the same guys, but like I said, they're all getting old, and I have no disrespect to any of them, but people need to realize like you get to a certain age and you just can't fight the same. Um, you look at like there's an exception, like Daniel Cormier was still kicking ass at like 38, 39. Okay,
yeah,
even in his last fight with Stipe, I
yeah,
think I saw the age set in that fight. Like I love Daniel Cormier. I hate when he gets all that crap thrown at him by the fans, but
yeah.
I love DC. But I think in that fight, from my view, it looked like age was setting in. Uh, and but you know what? Props to him. 41 years old. Um, yeah, and there's a lot of other fighters you can see that they're just not the same fighter. Whether it's just from the
I
fighting
was
from so many years, or it's just
yeah.
age. I don't know.
So I think it's like a mix of a bunch of things. Like I think also with the older guys we see, um, obviously age is a thing. Like I think with Lawler, age is for sure part of it. But also I think too is back then, like the UFC is still only like 20 years old, I believe. It's still such a young fucking like sport. MMA is a young sport as far as like, in the public eye. So like but back then when those guys were prominent, guys were kind of like one trick ponies going into it. Like they were like coming from like a wrestling background going into MMA. Like all they did was wrestle, like, okay, I'm gonna try this MMA stuff out. Or a boxer who's like, I'm gonna go into MMA. You know what I'm saying? Like they're all coming from one discipline where now kids are growing up as complete mixed martial artists, you know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Because they're starting a lot younger. So I think there's a skill difference now too with the newer guys. But one other thing that was really interesting to me, because I was kind of bashing John Jones for his like recent performances, was I heard Rashad Evans, I believe he's on Joe Rogan, and he said some of it could be like a mental thing too, because like you have these experiences in fights where you do get rocked in close fights where you're going kind of crazy, and it sits in the back of your mind
Mm-hmm.
as an insecurity when you're in your next fight. So you're not as like you're more hesitant to pull the trigger in certain moments because you had an experience where you got rocked, when you did that certain move or certain hit. But I think it's a combination of the skill difference nowadays and maybe some mental stuff too. Like with Tyron, I think it's all mental,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah. It's like he can't.
Can't pull the trigger.
Yeah, he can't pull the trigger. Yeah. Um, Yeah, with John Jones, actually, that's another name I had written down here.
Mhm.
Just kind of one of the last points. I think with John Jones, I understand what he did. Um, I think it's a smart move. He gave up the belt so he could have a new contract. Good idea. I want to see him at heavyweight because I really want to see someone hit him at heavyweight and kind of
Mhm.
see that hey, like the guy can get beat bad. Um,
Yeah.
beat the problem is that at light heavyweight, like Dominic Reyes, he lost that fucking fight. I don't care who the fuck you are, he lost that fight. End of story. He lost that fight. Uh,
Yeah.
even with the fight with not Gustafsson. Well, the first one he lost that as well, but not
Oh, so John Jones lost that fight.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
With Thiago Santos, he lost that fight. I guarantee he lost that not like convincingly, but I think every fan out there said, yeah, John Jones lost that fight. Um, so I think part of that too, I think that's that mental aspect too, where he's looking at like, okay, the competition is really getting high up here. You know what? I've accomplished a lot. Let me go up to heavyweight. Let me go to heavyweight. And see how it's like with the guys up there. Um, but John Jones, you got to see how he's going to be at a heavier weight. Um, and yeah, he has a lot of skills to the table, but John Jones isn't as flashy as he used to be, and he's really yeah, it's gonna be really interesting. Like for him to get hit by a guy like Francis Ngannou, I would like to see how he could take a hit like that. And I think John Jones is gonna have some trouble at heavyweight. Um,
Yeah, not
he,
many people could take that hit.
yeah, the way heavyweights hit you, like
Oh
it's
yeah,
interesting.
yeah. And I'm glad you brought up the performances. Against fucking Santos and Reyes, because my opinion on it, I've been so lost in it too. And I know that's why I clicked on Rashad Evans' video. He was talking about like what's wrong with John. You know what I'm saying? But doesn't it make you question everything he did before? Like because he did test positive for steroids.
uh,
You know?
he was taking. I think he was taking shit.
Yeah, and then since coming back, okay, he finished Gus. Cool. Gus has been finished twice since then. Gus obviously isn't the same. He's one of those guys where either the age or the skill gap got him. He
Yep.
got finished by Anthony Smith, and then he got finished by Verdum, where Verdum looked like shit just a month earlier against Olenek. But then, yeah, so Gus isn't the same guy. He got to finish against Gus. Cool. Um, Bam, second fight, Anthony Smith. Bro, I love Anthony Smith as a guy and his interviews. He seems really cool, right? But like he knocked out Rashad Evans and fucking Shogun Hua to get that title shot. You know what I'm saying? Like you knocked out like some nursing home dudes that you watch while you sleep in Canada there, And no offense to those guys, the champions, they've been great, back in the day, Hua and Rashad, but they're at the end of their careers. Rashad retired after that fight.
But then, if you want to go back to fighters not looking the same, I mean, even Anthony Smith,
Well,
like,
that's what I'm saying. I don't think Anthony Smith was ever like top caliber because the guys he beat were older guys. They weren't top ranked guys,
yeah,
And then so like I don't think he belonged there with John. And obviously John had dominant performance then. But that's what I'm saying. Like I don't know if Anthony belonged there. And then he didn't finish him on top of that, which I get it. You're not going to finish everybody. But then the Santos fight, that's when you're like, bro, what the fuck? This guy's on one leg right now. Like, you're a wrestler. You know what I'm saying? You're a fucking Greco-Roman like champion at wrestling. Take him down. Like, finish the fucking fight. This guy's on one fucking leg and he's like keeping it with you. Like, what the fuck's going on right now? You're supposed to be John Jones. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. Like, and even with one leg, he was still whooping John's ass.
yeah, man. And then fucking yeah, he's just not the same guy. Even like the way he fights, because against Reyes, he's fighting like really defensively. And then two, Reyes got taken down by your boy Uzdemir. So the same situation, John Jones, the guy who took down DC, Greco-Roman champion. You can't take down Dominic Reyes, who got taken down by a striker like Uzdemir, or fucking like
Yeah,
you tell me his high school wrestling pedigree is what's like superior right now. Like what the like it's that it's the steroids or something, man. I really don't fucking you can't deny he tested positive for him. So it's like what the fuck's happening?
yeah,
But
yeah.
I'm talking a lot. I apologize, but I do think
Okay.
him going to heavyweight was smart. One, because he is having close fights at light heavyweight. So like to lose your legacy to like an unknown guy, at light heavyweight who really might not be that good, versus stepping up to like the top of the competition at a new weight class where people get knocked out more. Like I don't know, I feel like it's more accepting to take a loss, your first loss there, because it's a new challenge. It's definitely a new challenge.
I know. I heard a lot of things about him wanting to fight Brock Lesnar, and I said, don't even make that fight happen. That's
Yeah,
bullshit. That's
it's
like,
not gonna happen. Brock,
it's
now
like.
you can't do steroids in the UFC. Brock wouldn't do it.
Well, the thing is too, right? Like when you look at that fight, you got to think like that is a bullshit heavyweight fight to put on for. That's like basically saying, okay, well, we'll give you a fight at heavyweight, and then if he beats him, which he probably would, I mean, it's
Hmm.
fucking Brock Lesnar. Like,
Yeah,
like that's a lot, and then they'll make it like, oh, he's looking so great. Look at him,
yeah.
like his heavyweight debut, and it's like,
Just
yeah, no, that's not a legit. You throw him against someone like Francis Ngannou. Like I think like it's
and I think that's his plan too. He knows he hasn't been performing the same as of late in light heavyweight. So it's
yeah.
like, I don't want to take the loss here. And I think he might have a new like if we do see him reemerge as the old John Jones, it's going to be at heavyweight because it's a new challenge. There's Francis Ngannou and Stipe.
Stipe.
He's hungry to prove a point.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah,
But I would love to talk more about it. But we're kind of coming up on time here.
yeah, my bad, bro.
Easy. It's been a pleasure having you on the podcast, man.
Sure,
I
man.
appreciate you setting up the live video and everything. So thanks to you on your part there, and we'll do
Yeah,
it soon, man.
for sure, man. Sorry, I'll let you get going. If anybody's still listening at this point, please come check me out too. I'm also on YouTube.
Yes,
Uh, you have youtube.com/the Speakeasy Podcast. We might actually try to change that to Speakeasy Sports. I'm about to, yeah, I'll announce that, I guess, too. I'll start talking about that. I'm about to start, and if you want to join, you're more than welcome. Um, I have a platform. Obviously, it's not the biggest, but I understand that like I do have like I got a pretty decent platform, I'd say, on YouTube and stuff like that, as for like as far as beginners go. And I'm gonna start this thing because my original plan in doing the podcast was to cover all sports, but MMA is fucking consumed, bro. MMA took over quick,
I know.
so I'm looking at adding on part teammates, I guess, guys that could cover football or basketball more frequently than I can. Yeah, because I've been so active in MMA, it's kind of been like my staple, but I still want to be, the go-to spot for sports. So, yeah, check us out. We're gonna be the Speakeasy Sports. I'm gonna add on a couple more guys to the team. They're gonna be posting their YouTube videos of interviews with not fighters, but other athletes and takes on stuff. And yeah, Speakeasy Sports is coming soon. But yeah, check me out on Instagram, Speakeasy Podcast. Probably change that to Speakeasy Sports too. And now I'm just rambling. Thank you for having me on, man. I apologize.
Hey, not a problem, man. You take care. All right.
All right, you too, man.